Hi guys, Flattmeister here. Got some more gaming news for you. Some good news, or some good and bad. It depends if you're a glass half full or a glass half empty. Oh dear. Well, I was just talking about Overwatch in my last video. Well, Overwatch wannabe BattleBorn is apparently Gearbox is apparently ending support for BattleBorn. Oh dear. See, maybe Gearbox should have just focused on Borderlands 3. So to kind of hype up, to get some hype for Borderlands 3, Gearbox is ending BattleBorn with a Borderlands themed update. Such a short-lived, after less than a year. It's been less than a year since it was out. There's a YouTuber called Croby Cat. I highly recommend checking out his channel. The way he edits his videos, I really like his sort of editing style. He edits clips taken from like previous E3s and news junkets and little clips here and there, and then on the lead up to the game's release, the developers showed at E3 of like, look at our game, really cool, and then showing the true gameplay and showing just all the stuff. Like, you should check out his channel. But he did one for BattleBorn, and it was really funny because what was it? Randy Pitchford did an interview with IGN with Ryan McCaffrey. Mr. Ryan, highly in isolation of 5.9 out of 10 McCaffrey. I'm not going to let that go. So yeah, he did an interview with Randy Pitchford. Apparently he was talking about his career, but he also tried to blame the failings of Aliens Colonial Marines on the fans, saying that the hype was too much. The hype was too big. I'm like, well, you've got a big franchise on your hands. Because what was it? I rented Alien Colonial Marines when that first came out, and it was disappointing. There were bits in it that were cool, but it was so flawed, such a flawed game. Well, I brought it recently, so let's see if any patches have like updated the game. Like, what's it like several years on? Again, still enjoyable a little bit in parts, but still so flawed. Like the AI, some textures, this, that, and the other. The story, I mean, nothing but glorified fan fiction, and it annoys me because when they released behind the scenes game developer diaries, and there's Randy Pitchford and all these other head developers at Gearbox going, oh, we're big Alien fans, we loved Alien 1 and 2, but we hate Alien 3. So they tried to retcon something, and again, I won't spoil it. If you want me to talk in depth about Colonial Marines, leave a comment, I'll make a separate video on that. But basically it was nothing but glorified fan fiction that it retconned poorly between Aliens 2 and 3. It handled it absolutely terribly. But I'm not going to go into that. He basically blamed Alien Colonial Marines on the fans and this, that, and the other. So anyway, back on to BattleBorn. Sorry, getting off topic there with a tangent. So yeah, BattleBorn is... As of this week, there will be no more battle plans, and there is currently no planned content after the fall update. Details of any future changes or news will be made on our forums or through social media, so keep on your radar. Never fear, BattleBorn is here to stay. Nothing is changing with BattleBorn, and the servers will be up and active for the foreseeable future. He goes, and also some new skins themed around your favourite Borderlands characters. So yeah, some new skins are coming based on Borderlands characters. Given the whole progressive theme of Gearbox software these days, don't be shocked if there's matching skin set for the two characters based on Athena and Janie's wedding. I can't believe it. I didn't mind Athena and Janie. They were alright. Especially in Tales of the Borderlands as well. They're a funny couple. I doubt dragging over content from one dying franchise will help out another dying franchise, but good on them for trying. They even gave out free shift codes for Dion's skin just to try to peel some kind of attention. Because yeah, when BattleBorn sort of first released, and he could see that, Randy Pitchford could see that Overwatch was becoming more popular, especially with all of that Rule 34 stuff, and then Randy Pitchford on his social media going, oh look, someone's made some not safe for work BattleBorn porn. I'm like, oh come on, this is so cringy. There's even a shift code here. I'll show you. It's for if you've got BattleBorn. So yeah, if you've got interest in BattleBorn, here's the shift code. You can head to the extras to redeem the code for Dion. The thread isn't all that long. There are only 212 replies as of the writing of this article, and the thread was originally published back in September 15th. So even Gearbox Software's official forum goers are paying BattleBorn's death throes about as much mind as rock fans are interested in the next Chad Kroeg concert. For those who haven't been keeping tabs, which is practically everyone who had better games in their libraries to play, BattleBorn came out during the same month as Overwatch. However, due to the lack of likeable or cool or sexy characters, no one is giving two craps about BattleBorn. While Blizzard made headlines centered around how tight and plump the rumps were of their female characters, Gearbox was lamenting how poorly BattleBorn sold. And while Blizzard was attempting to clean up the massively popular porn for Overwatch, which drove massive amounts of traffic to various porn sites, Gearbox president Randy Pitchford was trying to lure people to the R34 sub for BattleBorn because... Did I just have a Freudian slip there? BattleBorn. I did, I think. BattleBorn, because it was emptier than a whorehouse in Washington, D.C. during a Comet Ping Pong pizza party. God, did my pop filter catch plenty of those pops? They couldn't even get gamers to play the title, even after it went free to play. Now, even though they say they'll keep the server lights on for the foreseeable future, don't count on that future being long term. Given the fact that Lawbreaker seems to have launched with the same amount of fanfare and consumer interest as BattleBorn, don't be surprised if there's a new story a few months from now about the game shutting off the lights too. Because that's the thing, it's become a bit oversaturated, the sort of MOBA first person shooter genre. Oh dearie me. That's that. Other news. Got Dishonored Death of the Outsider has come out. I've yet to play Dishonored 2. I've yet to even complete the first one. I can't remember where I am in the first one. I must be quite far in it. There's, do you remember my top 5 games to be psyched about? And there was that City of Brass, which is this Arabian-themed first-person roguelite game. Well, it enters early access on Steam. It looks really cool, sort of this Prince of Persia first-person. You've got a whip that you can use for puzzles, and you can swing over traps. And you can like whip enemies' sword. You can disarm swords out of enemies' hands, and you've got a sword yourself. It's officially entered early access on Steam for $24.99. During the first week of being on sale, the game is marked down by 20% off for only $19.99. Wow. It says the game is visually distinct, apart from sharing a similar motif to Torn Banner Studios' Mirage Arcane Warfare. Not heard of that. There's a distinctly Persian atmosphere filled with winding alleys, tail-curving structures, and dungeon-style traps littered throughout. I think it is actually procedurally generated, so the maze will always be different no matter what, all the different areas of this giant maze. And there's actually another video, a 14-minute worth gameplay footage, courtesy of GameZine. So yeah, that looks really cool. Someone said that the gameplay is hard to pin down. Reminds me of non-stealth version of Thief. Although you can purchase upgrades and other aids from genies scattered throughout the environment, the enemy types remind me a little bit of Serious Sam, insofar that they require chiefly different tactics to overcome. Lead designer Ed Orman explains what you can expect from early access rendition of the game, saying in a press release that the early access version already has a core experience in place. Players can dive into 12-level campaign with hours of replayability, revealing new enemies in each level, discovering gear and relics, encountering fresh traps, and evolving their tactics. We're in early access to help us balance and tune the gameplay systems. We will steadily add more content as we approach the final release. They're expecting to keep the game in early access for anywhere between 6 months to a year, so it won't release in full sometime until 2018. Yeah, I'll leave a link to City of Brass to the Steam page for that. So yeah, that game looks really cool, and I cannot wait to get that. Hopefully, this laptop is capable of running that. So I'll see if I can run that. And also some other news. I saw one of these articles out. Also, thanks to Homru, I'm not even going to pronounce the other part of his Twitter. He was saying about a game called Hyper Universe, and apparently it triggered a load of SJWs. So this game Hyper Universe, they released some artwork, and then they censored it to have a SJW toggle. So for people that don't want huge boobs on a female character, well, they can move this toggle, this SJW toggle, so it suits their sensibilities. Because it's made by a Korean company, so apparently the Korean version is now going to be censored. But there is people that are wanting to ramp up the lewdness. NEGAcensored mod ramps up the lewdness. When Nexon and Quavesoft announced that the portraits and physics in Hyper Universe would be toned down, it's like a 2D, because I think Hyper Universe is like a 2D MOBA, so that's sort of drawn, sort of hand-drawn style. So anyway, when announced that the portraits and physics in Hyper Universe would be toned down in the English version because the large-breasted women made some people uncomfortable, modders took time out of their day to fish through the images and restore the original content from the Korean version. However, Nexon took things a step further by announcing that Quavesoft would be censoring the Korean version in future updates, and that the content would be toned down at the source. Well, modders have retorted by making even lewder mods just to trigger these outrage warriors and anyone else who complained about the original female figures in Hyper Universe. What's wrong with some double Ds? Come on, what's wrong with boobs? CNN doesn't like boobs. Oh, boobs!
I'm a First Amendment absolutist. I believe in only two things completely: the First Amendment and boobs. And so once they made the decision that they were not going to allow a conservative, non-sports related commentary, they couldn't do it. Hold on.
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly as a woman anchoring the show. Did you say, what did you just say? You believe in the First Amendment and BWBS?
Boobs. Two things that have only never let me down in this entire country's history: the First Amendment and boobs.
This isn't just a rebellious mod made to be unruly and uncouth. This mod is in direct response to Nexon adamantly denying their original Hyper Universe fanbase and any sort of alternative to the censored version of the game. Gamers were willing to compromise with the safe mode toggle switch, which is what I mentioned, so that people who wanted to play the censored version could, and people who wanted to play the uncensored version could. Nexon denied them the opportunity to have a toggle switch, claiming it would defeat the purpose of censorship. So modders have done the next best thing: make Hyper Universe even more lewd. An artist named Rick sent over some images that you can use to replace the current image in the game. He's calling it the NEGAcensored mod. He made the boobs slightly bigger and also added in some NSFW elements. You can check out the picture gallery below, but you probably won't want to do so while you're at work or with your wife looking over your shoulder. Tell me if she's there. Tell me she's there, right? I'm kidding. I mean, so the original and the censored, like there's like the original is more shapely, and then the lewd version is. This one, this elven looking woman, she's the original, quite busty, quite a bit of cleavage, and then the censored has covered them up and they're made a bit smaller, and then the mod version, and then this one, this angelic looking one, it's got quite big boobs, she's leaning over, quite a skinny waist, and then the censored version made a bit smaller because they don't want the boobs bigger than they want them about the same size as the waist. And then this uncensored version, you can't stop it. You can't stop modders and fans wanting to keep your game the way it originally was. It's blowback. There will always be blowback against any censorship or shaming of developers' original creative vision. What is wrong with boobs and butts? We are human beings. We're driven by sex. We like to fight and fuck. My very first video I did on YouTube were like to fight and fuck. It's part of being human. We're fucking instinctual. We're animals. We are. Well, humans are mammals. We're driven by our base instincts. And I just find this whole, oh, my male gaze. Not that kind of male gaze. You know, this whole male gaze is oppressive, or it's something that men inflict onto women, that it's somehow oppressive. Like, give me a break. It's not. The NEGAcensored mod can be used to replace the PNG or the TGA images in the Hyperuniverse asset file by using the asset extractor. That, for some reason, sounded really rude in my mind. You can get the asset file by using my asset extractor. Basically, the same methods you use to extract the assets and replace the censored versions of the image with the original Korean versions can work for this as well. If you need a guide on how to extract the assets, you can find the walkthrough made available from King Arthur on a Steam thread. And I'll leave a link to this article as well as a link to that Steam thread as well. Oh dear. So yeah, that's some gaming news for you. Some good, some bad, and some ugly. And some boobylicious. Who doesn't like boobs? Come on. Boobs and butts. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with it. So yeah, that's some gaming news for you guys. So, yeah, give me a comment. Leave a comment down in the video and tell me what you think of all of this gaming news. What do you think of City of Brass? It's on early access now, so you can finally play it. That's quite a decent price as well. $24. Well, it didn't say it was $19.99. It dropped down to. Also with Hyperuniverse and the company deciding to self-censor. It's a real shame. But it's good that there's modders, there's people there that still care about the original vision that the creators made. Tell me what you think about my male gaze. What's wrong with boobs? There's nothing wrong with boobs. So yeah, leave me a comment on all the topics there in the video. There's quite a lot to keep you entertained there. So yeah, I'm Flattmeister. I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.
I'm done. I'm sorry.
To have her anatomy brought up, to have anyone's anatomy brought up in this conversation.
I'm done. This is done. This is conversation over. Yanking mics. Bye. See ya.